Hi!
I'm
How are you?
good. How are you?
You look so beautiful.
You look so beautiful. Are you kidding me? Look at this.
Just a little something something I threw on for you.
Oh my gosh. I tried real hard. I tried to do a good beat for you today. Did I do okay?
Look gorgeous. Yeah. I was thinking about for those of you who don't know, me and Kylie went to school together. We went to the National Ballet School of Canada together for like 3 years.
Yeah.
Um and I remember we always used to laugh because when like a school year would start and all the new kids would join, we could always tell the American girls because they would come and caked in makeup. They would wear so
It's so true.
much any like a Balanchine bun right here,
Oh, it's
or
hot.
or a good French twist, like a really
Yes.
tight twist.
Yes. And the blingy earrings.
Oh,
So,
the blingy earring. Yep.
yeah.
The American girls were always very showy and always like all the mascara.
Oh, yes. No, and I brought it. I mean, listen, you are my goals.
You were beat.
I know I was beat, even at
You
like
were
what,
beat.
14, 15.
I love it. This is
Oh my
so
gosh.
beautiful.
Thank you. You are too. Thank you so much for spending some time with us.
Of course.
Oh my gosh. So, for people who are coming online here, from Heights, here she is, the queen of the North herself.
It's me.
So, she is probably best known for being in RuPaul's Drag Race season 11. She
Mhm.
was the first alternate, and if you ask me, in my opinion, she was robbed. You are amazing. I'm getting a lot of love for that one. And something really, really cool. She is now the expert judge on Canada's Drag Race.
Yes, I know.
Oh,
It's cool. I'm one of there's three of us. There's yeah, we have three judges on the panel and I got to be one of them. So
oh my
excited.
God. No, you're like legendary. That's amazing.
Thank you.
Oh my
I'm,
God. So we've got a lot to catch up on.
yes.
So Pivot Dancer, I kind of was explaining to people while we were all logging in and everything. It's a great online platform for dancers, students, dance educators, parents, et cetera, et cetera. We're a safe space for people. We just want everyone to have a good dance experience and have some of the solutions for a healthy dance experience that maybe we didn't have
Mm,
growing up or we wished other people would have had.
yeah.
Yeah, I know Brooklyn and I were very lucky. Like he was saying, we went to the National Ballet School, so we had a lot of resources that were given to us there. But I know not everyone has that, so we're trying to be that platform for people.
That's amazing. Yeah, it's so important. I mean, at NBS we really kind of had a one-stop shop,
Yeah,
kind of in-house built in, but not everybody has that luxury.
yeah,
Uh that's amazing. Good for you. I'm so
yeah.
proud with
Oh,
some other fellow NBSers I
I
hear.
I know. There's a whole bunch of us,
I love,
so you're joining a good community.
yeah, I love my NBS family.
Oh, I know. We love you so much. We're so proud of you. I'm
Thank you.
Team Brooklyn all the way.
I'll-
Oh my gosh. So I know there's probably a lot of people who are wanting to hear about your story and your journey. I know it's been huge. Uh,
Mhm.
so maybe you would, if you would, just kind of give us a little bit of a look inside
Oh
Brooklyn.
God, sure. I mean, well, I started dancing very late. I only started dancing when I was 14.
Okay.
Um, I did gymnastics for like a year when I was little, but then I didn't really do anything and I didn't have any hobbies. So I did like a jazz class once a week for an
Oh,
hour,
wow.
that kind of thing. I got into Etobicoke School of the Arts in Toronto for musical theater, which is
Wow.
really, I can't sing. Um, I always say I was like they took one look at me and they were like, okay, if we send this kid to like a normal high school, he's gonna get the shit kicked out of him. So we just
Oh,
have to take it. It was like we're gonna take one for the team. We're just gonna save it. We're gonna save this kid's life. Um,
oh.
so I got into musical theater, and through that I started exploring. That was around the time I started doing dance more. And I had a friend auditioning for the National Ballet School of Canada who's in the dance program, and she's like, "Do you want to come down and audition with me?" And I was like, sure, why not? Like it was like a total like whatever.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll do it. So I went down on audition. I got into the summer program, and then I somehow got into the full time program for grade 10. Literally, like
What?
I had been doing ballet for maybe 9 months at that point.
You're like you are a living legend. Like this is crazy.
Yeah,
Prodigy.
it was nuts. I couldn't believe it. Um, and my parents, my mom couldn't believe it too. She's like, I felt so bad. Like there are all these other kids at the audition like crying because they didn't get in, and then you got in, and I was like, I was like, I feel bad. He shouldn't have gotten in. He doesn't know what he's doing.
Oh no. Oh no.
I was like, thanks, mom. But yeah, so I got into NBS, and I like literally had to start from scratch. I was in ballet class with people like 4 years younger than me. And I kind of went through that grade 10, 11, 12. And then I stayed for 2 extra years after I graduated,
Yeah.
for IDP or PSP, as I believe it's called now.
Yes. Yes. Post-secondary program.
Yeah, for the post-secondary program. So that was my college or university.
Yeah.
And then I moved to South Africa. I will actually, from there, after 2 years, I still didn't have a job. So I was like, okay, I'll do more school. So I decided to go to Germany, to the
Oh
Hamburg.
wow. Oh my gosh. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, there for literally 2 weeks. And then Rudy Van Dansink, who is this amazing choreographer that we got to work with, who is I think the founder of the Dutch National Ballet.
Amazing.
We had just worked with him at NBS, and he had done the Four Last Songs for Spring Showcase.
Yes. I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, that was like that was a really special moment for me because he was the first choreographer to ever like notice me and like want to work with me. I was always like that person, like I was just like core for life kind of things. Like no one had ever like singled me out and been like, oh wow, you're really good. He
Yeah.
had me do the lead role of Death, and we got along really well, and he kind of became a bit of a mentor to me. So anyway, I'd left MBS, and I was in Hamburg, and I got a call from him, and he was in South Africa.
Oh wow.
Hi, I'm doing Four Last Songs. I don't like any of the dancers here. Can you come down and do it? Actually, this is from Mavis. He called Mavis, and Mavis calls me. Yeah, Mavis.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Yeah. Mavis Staines. Yeah.
Yeah, she was like, hello, sweetheart.
Yes.
How are you?
Calming.
So good to talk to you. We love Mavis. Mavis
Oh,
is
she's
a
amazing.
character. So Mavis called me. I got in touch with Rudy. I got in touch with the company, and they're like, yeah, would you come down and do this ballet for us? And I was like, yeah, if you give me like a full-time job. I'm not just gonna come down and then leave. So
Yeah.
they gave me a contract, and they got me a work visa, and literally like 2 days later I was on a plane to South Africa.
That's amazing.
I didn't even know Africa existed. Like I knew like there was an Africa. I did not realize there was a southern separate part.
Right. Right.
It's not something I'd like. You went to NBS. You know, school wasn't exactly first priority.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Class, I don't remember.
I'm with you. I know. I'm like, we got through it.
Yeah, like I quit math in grade 10. I think I did math for everyday life. That was my last math experience. Like history, we did history of art and ballet. That was right after lunch. I think I slept through most of it. Like,
Yes.
good times. Anyway, so I moved to South Africa for 2 years. I danced there. That's where I did like the bulk of my male dancing. I was a professional dancer, a professional male dancer there. I did acts. I got to do pretty much all like the lead male stuff, which was fun.
Huge.
I also didn't really care. I was like, this is great, but I want to be a ballerina.
Right.
So
You're like,
yeah, so from there I moved to New York and joined Ballet Trocadero. And I danced there for 4 years and toured all over the world with them, which was just an amazing experience, and so much fun. And I like one of the best opportunities I've ever been given in my life. But after 4 years, I was really sore and I was really poor. So I was like, you know what? This has been great. My body, like, I have a great body for ballet, but I also am missing key components that make it easy to be especially a male ballet dancer. Like I don't have a long Achilles tendon, so I don't have a PA, so that puts a lot of strain on my knees, and just my body was feeling creaky and old, and I was only like 25, and I was like, this isn't right. Yeah, so I decided I was gonna just leave professional dance behind and become a drag queen, because that's what I still love doing about my job. So I moved back to Toronto, moved into a building right across the street from the National Ballet School on Jarvis.
How serendipitous.
Like my whole life in Toronto has revolved around that block.
Like, I know. Was it Jarvis?
Yeah, Jarvis. Like like Church and Jarvis, like that whole like the village has been. I was like 15 years old. Has like my Toronto experience has revolved around that little for me. So yeah, so I moved back, and yeah, I started doing drag full time, and it went really well.
Clearly.
Yeah.
Clearly. Oh my gosh. I mean, I remember watching you on Instagram or Facebook and everything, and it literally was like it just kept getting better. It's
Yeah,
amazing.
it was
Oh,
great. It's been an amazing ride, an amazing journey. I mean, that was 2012, so it's been 8 years now since I kind of made the decision to move back and do this full time, and it was a very scary decision, but it was the first time I'd ever said, like, I'm going to work for myself. I'm going to be my own boss. And I think it was just really the right decision for me. I'm a person who likes to be in charge and likes to be in control.
right.
And I always had a problem with authority. Like when people would I don't have a problem with authority. It's when people unnecessarily assert their authority over you just because they can, is when it
Yeah.
becomes an issue. Like when they say, do this. And I'm like, okay, but why? And they're like, because I said so. See, that's a problem
Yeah.
for me.
Like, there's not really a reason.
Yeah. Like that immediately. No,
Yeah.
not gonna do.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was it's been an amazing job, and not without its ups and downs, but it's something I'm truly passionate about, and I think that's the most important thing as an artist. I mean, you have to be like, it's just such a any form of art is so demanding and difficult and kind of all consuming. um I think you just have to be passionate about it, and I would even say that especially for ballet takes it
Yeah.
of. Did you freeze? Are you there, Kylie? Are you there? She froze. Can you hear me? Kylie, can you hear me? I can't hear you. I can see you, but I can't hear you. I can't hear you. Are we having difficulties? We can hear you? I can't hear you, but I'm going to keep talking. I'm going to log. You can't hear me. I'm going to log off and come back on.
All right, we're back on. Can people hear me okay? Hey guys. Hey. Okay, here we go. Let's bring her back.
And we're back.
Hey. Sorry about that.
Oh, no, it's the world we live in right now. It's
Exactly.
testicle difficulties, as I say.
We roll with it, right?
We roll with it. We just go with it. Oh gosh, what was I saying?
No, it's just like we were talking about like your body and how like you started feeling like you were starting to hurt and stuff after dancing for so long, and you have the amazing form and the ability. You had the physique of a ballet dancer, but you feel like there were certain things that maybe were starting
Yeah,
to become an issue.
we're not great.
Yeah.
We're not feeling great on my body, and I mean, still don't feel great on my body. It's really
Yeah.
true. I wish like young people would realize that when old people are like, it gets harder when you like you'll notice getting older, especially like if you're
Yeah.
a dancer, like you really you do notice it. I wish I was like, sure, whatever, I'm never gonna get old, and all of a sudden I'm like, oh my god, like with,
Aim.
with your body, with everything, even like if you get drunk one night, it takes like 3 days to get over it now. I'm like, what?
True cover. I know. It's
Yeah,
like a whole thing.
but
Getting old sucks.
it does. um, but I think, oh yeah, I remember what I was talking about. Just passion, and you have to. I think it's so important as an artist to have passion for what you do, and especially if you're a dancer or a ballet dancer, because it is such a physically demanding art form, and a lot of times it doesn't pay great, and
Yeah.
you just have to. It's something you just have to really, really love doing, and I was just doing it, and I was like, I don't really love doing this. Like, I'm just doing it. It was more I was doing it because I discovered I was good at it, and I was like, cool. This is a looks like a fun job. Like, but it's opened up so many. I'm so thankful for my
Right,
time as a
right.
dancer.
No, I totally.
Yeah, because it just opens up so many. It's opened up so many doors for me, and even in drag,
That's amazing.
just set me apart. Kind of up my game a little bit. All of that training I got as a dancer and stuff. So I'm super thankful for that. Oh, you froze again. You paused again. I can't hear you.
Okay, we're back again. Hopefully, we haven't lost everybody. Hopefully, didn't lose Brooklyn. Oh, hi, baby. Okay, let's try this again. Thanks for hanging in there with us, guys. Okay, here she is. Okay, you can hear everything good? Everything's good? Oh, I'm so sorry.
It's fine, girl. I literally have nothing else to do, so.
Oh, thank you again for spending some time with us. It's
Of
awesome.
of course, it's my pleasure. Um, but yeah, I think yeah, it's really important to realize that even if you don't make it as a dancer, if it's not something you do for a long time, the things you learn being a dancer, those skills and everything can serve you so well in so many other professions, really in any other profession, like the discipline, the focus, the working as a team,
Yeah.
the drive, all of that stuff, the professionalism you learn from being a dancer has served me so well in my drag career because I have skills a lot of other drag queens don't have and don't apply.
I'm
So
sure.
yeah, it's been amazing. And even like I know so many of my friends who went on to university or just get corporate jobs. If you have professional ballet dancer on your resume, they're immediately like, whoa, like it's a big thing.
Yeah.
Like very impressed by it.
Oh, yeah. No, they're like, you're definitely going to show up on time.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. So I know you said that your drag career kind of started while you were with Ballet Trocadero. Did you learn a lot more while you were like to do your makeup and everything while you were there?
Um, sort of a little bit. I mean, my makeup has been a very big evolution.
Yeah.
I honestly am still learning how to do makeup. Like I always learn new tricks and things. Um, but yeah, that's kind of when I started dabbling in makeup. But I look at my makeup now from back then, and I'm like, whoa. Like also makeup, like the makeup and like Ballet Trocadero was very much they wanted us to be funny. It was comedy. Like it wasn't you all have
Got
to
it.
be drag queens. Like I think most days we got like an hour after rehearsals to do our makeup and get ready for the show. Like it was a very
That
yeah.
is speedy.
It was
Yeah.
because we were always touring, so we were always in a new theater. So we always had to restage everything and
Oh,
all that stuff. So yeah, makeup.
oh,
Oh, sorry. Makeup definitely became
yeah.
a secondary thing. Um, or when I moved back to Toronto, that like I actually started drag for real. That it became more of a thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Um, so we were
I think you froze again. Are you on
so
Wi-Fi?
no,
You're not on Wi-Fi? Are you back? Am I frozen too? I can't hear you. Can you hear me?
Okay. Hang in there with us, guys. I'm so sorry. Hey, people are moving back in again. I appreciate you guys hanging with us. Technical difficulties are kind of one of those things here these days. Hey. Hopefully we can get her back. All right, here we go. She's the best. Okay. Oh my goodness. Here we are again. I have everything on Wi-Fi. Hopefully
Okay.
everything will be in there. So sorry.
Oh, it's fine. Like I said, this is the world the world we live in these days.
I know. Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
And
technology.
yeah. And you're saying some really important things too about having your passion for whatever you're doing, and like not to feel bad if ballet isn't your end all and be all at the end of the day.
Yeah, I think that's a big thing. I mean, I struggled with that. I don't know if you can relate to that, but like
I really,
when you decide to stop, you feel a guilt, and you
yeah.
feel you're letting yourself down. You're letting your teachers down. Like I went through that a lot, but it's about your happiness. It's not about letting people down. You have to do
Yeah.
it. But I definitely went through that a lot. I know a lot of ballet dancers do that too, because it's something. And I can't even imagine for people like who had been at NBS since they were in grade 5, and like literally
Right.
this their life goal, and then to decide they're just going to give up on that. Like that's a hard thing to do.
It is hard. I kind of went through that as well, what you were saying. You have that guilt because, people put all this time into you and everything, and you're like, well, this is what I said I was going to do, and I want to do it. But at the same time, you have to be honest to yourself with yourself,
You,
and yeah,
I
you want
remember
to be,
we had a conversation about that. I think when I was in IDP and you were in grade 12,
yeah,
um, we would talk a lot. And I remember we were like sitting outside on Alexander Street, and
yeah,
we were chatting, and you were like, I don't know if I want to do this, la la la, and you were like, you were having a hard time.
yeah.
Yeah,
It's, oh,
I remember.
yeah. No, you were always such a great sounding board too. I remember I used to come and talk to you a lot.
Yeah, it was. I'm glad it was a good sounding board. I was something. I was a bad.
You were fantastic, and you still are. Oh my goodness. Oh my God. So another thing I kind of wanted to ask you about was your injuries. One of the owners, well, both of the owners of Pivot Dancer are physiotherapists, and so they are just rock stars with working with that.
Mhm.
So I wanted to ask you, like, how do you keep in shape? Do you get injuries? Because I know you dance on point in your drag.
Mhm.
Something that you deal with.
I've been very lucky for the majority, especially my professional career. I never had any big serious injuries. I think I had like in grade 11, I think I had a stress fracture in my shin, but it had already like started to heal by the time they found it. And then I think I've had tendonitis, but who hasn't? Uh,
Right.
but yeah, nothing like super, super serious when I was a professional dancer. Like I was always pretty lucky, surprisingly. I always
Yeah.
thought my gonna snap in half because I couldn't put my heels down. So I was like, those are gonna go. That's gonna be the first thing that goes. But yeah, and I've thrown my back out a couple times at the beginning of my professional career because I was partnering so much. Um,
Okay.
and the girl I was partnering was not the easiest. She just
Got ya.
helped me. And that's nothing. And by the way, that has nothing to do with a girl's weight. Like being
No.
does not mean you're harder to partner. In fact, some of my best partners have been not the skinniest girls. But it's about core. It's about holding yourself. And if you can
Yeah.
hold, that really helps the guy. And some of my hardest partners have been girls who are like this big, and they're literally just like blocks of concrete.
Right.
So yeah,
It,
it's about weight distribution and like holding yourself. It makes it so much easier for the man. But yeah, that was I think my only like big injury. I threw my back out for like 2 weeks at like the beginning of my professional career. But
right.
when I stopped doing drag, when I stopped dancing, and I was actually doing drag, I got my only really actual big injury. Um, it
Okay.
was I think it was probably about 2015,
Okay.
and living in Nashville at the time, and I was doing drag brunch down there, and
Fine.
I hadn't been working out, I hadn't been stretching, I had been drinking a lot, I hadn't been drinking enough water, I was very dehydrated, so my muscles were like, you can feel your muscles are not happy, and I was doing a
Yeah.
drag brunch, I went and I dropped into a split, and all I heard was it
That
was
doesn't
like
sound very.
the weirdest sound. I tore something in my groin, and
Oh.
oh yeah, and like literally like from my knee up to my crotch, into my crotch, like that
Oh.
whole it swelled up and it was black and blue for
Oh
like,
God.
and I didn't have health insurance, so I was like terrified to go to the I didn't go to the hospital. I went to a
The
physio.
hospital.
Yeah, I just didn't
Okay.
go to the yeah, I tore my inner thighs, but like I tore a bunch of stuff, and
Oh
it
my
was
God.
and that was my good side. That was like my flexible side.
Oh
And I
no.
so yeah, but that didn't that like so I let it heal for I think a month and a half, and then I started doing hot yoga to kind of get back into it.
Okay.
Um, and that really helped. Doing yoga really helped me like get my flexibility and strength back. But I to this day I still feel it. Like I could just touch it and I feel that muscle is like a guitar string.
Oh gosh. It'd be
Yeah.
interesting if there's something maybe you could do now with it. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean maybe.
Yeah.
It's just like in it's a lot better than it was, but it's still like it's a kind of affected everything in that area. Like it's not as flexible as it once was. Like my arabesque is not as good on that side now, and that was like literally like my good leg side.
That was your good leg. I saw some amazing arabesques on Drag Race though. Come on.
Oh, thank
There,
you.
there were some very, very good ones.
Yeah, but get older, it doesn't go up the way it used to. I'll tell you that.
Oh my gosh, I know. I was trying to take an online like ballet class during this
Oh,
quarantine.
God bless.
Oh my Lord. It was actually with Selene and Sarah.
Oh,
Um,
God.
yeah. And literally in my mind, I'm like, arabesque is going to be like, this is going to be everything. And I look back, I go to this penche and it's like, eh.
Yeah. Oh, I just saw Rebecca Rimsey on here. Hi, Rebecca Rimsey.
Oh,
I
yay.
grew up watching Rebecca Rimsey at NBS, watching
Yeah.
the beautiful dancer. So hi, Rebecca. It's
And
so weird. That's such a weird thing. I like just certain people, like in my mind, like growing up watching them. Like I grew up in the age of Rebecca and oh Alexandra Antonievic,
yes.
Guillaume, young star of the
Yes.
company, young star of the company. We had uh oh what's her Martine LeMay.
Yes. Martine LeMay.
I think Rex was still dancing a little bit when
Yes.
I cool.
Um, what was her name? Nan.
Chow Nan Yu,
Yes.
Han Go, like the like,
Yes.
and it's like I just remember like when you're in ballet school and like you're what those are like your pop stars a little bit. Like those are your rock
Oh,
stars. That's who you want to be like your local company members. Um, yeah, like those are like your people. And I remember like so I remember watching these people, and then years later when it was at Toronto Pride, and I was just waiting to go on stage. It was one of the outdoor stages, so I was just kind of standing there, and there was a guy taking,
Yeah.
and it was Alexander Antonievic, who was like the big deal.
Yes.
Yeah, and I was like, oh my god. And I was like, oh my god, it's Alexander. So I was like, hey, I was a drag. I was a little drunk. I didn't care. So I was like, hey, Alex. And he was like, oh, he was like, hi. I was like, and I introduced myself, and we started talking, and then we became really good friends.
That's
And,
amazing.
yeah, and he's been one of the main people to like photograph me actually over the last couple years. Like, and he's so
Yes.
so. But it's just so funny because like I've always like, even when I talk to him, I'm like, I can't believe like we're friends because like you were like my idol when I was little. Like, you know,
Isn't
it's
that
just,
funny?
it's so strange. Like, and now, but we're both adults, and like I'm an adult and he's an adult, and it's just weird though because I'm like, I vividly remember going to the Humming Center before the Four Seasons Center. That's how old I
Yeah.
am. The
No,
Humming,
I'm with you.
yeah, and watching these people, and now like I'm an adult too, and we're friends.
It's
It's
kind of, it blows your mind, right? Like
yeah,
you're always, you hold
yeah,
them on a pedestal for so long, and then you're like, wait, I'm interacting with you? Like, you know
yeah,
my name? What?
normal people. Like,
You know?
it's very strange, but it's also very cool. Way back when, yes, you remember the Hummingbird Center, Rebecca.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
Cracker and all that stuff. Did
Ah,
you
did I what?
did you do Nutcracker?
I never did Nutcracker. So I lived in Wichita, Kansas, and so I got to be able to go home over
Oh,
Christmas break. I know. I was very lucky.
it was Nutcracker was fun. Like the first year, like I did it. I was only like in I was in the first act and the second act. I was family
Oh,
scene, 40-year scene the first year in grade 10, which
yeah.
was very because I didn't get to do spring showcase because I didn't know how to dance yet. But
Oh,
they let me do that was fun. And then the next year it was like as you get older you just do battle scene. And I remember this is actually one of my funniest memories ever on stage was I think it was my last year of IDP and I still had to do battle scene and I was so over it. And I
uh,
went to beds. And for those of you who have not watched the National Ballet of Canada's Nutcracker, in the dream scene, like the fight scene, there are these two beds that Misha and Clara sleep in.
yeah.
Sorry. And they have these giant stovepipes at the back, and there's people in the stovepipes driving them around. And I was, and I'll never forget. I was on stage, like standing in my bed, like
Yeah.
waiting to go, and my phone rang. It
No.
vibrated in my. It was didn't ring. It vibrated in my pocket, and
Oh
I
God.
picked it up. I was like, "Hello," and it was my brother. He's like, "Hey, where are you?" And I was like, "Oh, I'm just on stage. Can I give you a call back in like 5 minutes?" He's like, "Oh, okay." And I was like, "Yeah, okay, bye."
I just gotta drive Misha somewhere.
Yeah, exactly. It was cool because I was literally on stage in front of thousands of people having a full-on conversation on my phone, and
That's
nobody laughed. Like I was, it was one of those little moments.
Oh, I love NBOC's Nutcracker. I think it's my favorite still.
Oh, it's gorgeous. It's so like Nutcracker needs to be like opulent, and it is
Yes.
like
That,
I'm too.
that Fabergé egg.
Yeah,
Woo.
that scene when the curtain comes up on that gorgeous second act is beautiful.
So good. It's so
Yeah.
good. Oh, Brooklyn, you're so pretty. I can't even. I love the pink.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I was trying to do some bright colors. It's kind of been like I haven't gotten any new drag in so long because there's no point. So I'm just literally like pulling things out of like the bottom of the barrel. Like what
Oh my
happened
God.
in a while?
You keep it fresh. You keep it fresh, honey.
I try to, yeah. I do the best I can. But yeah, thank you. I actually got this suit made for some show I was supposed to do before quarantine happened. And
It's beautiful.
so now
I love the neon. I
thank you.
wore a Canadian suit or Canadian tuxedo today.
I
The
love
jean on.
I love a jean on jean. I'm here
Yeah.
for it.
I'm like, it's in. I'm doing it. Oh
Absolutely.
my God. So I have another question for you, just really
Mhm.
quickly. If you have a little time.
Of course.
So what do you think is something young people could take away from drag? Something you think it's important that you can give through that art form?
Oh geez. Well, I think it's a great business lesson because you as a drag queen kind of are all encompassing. Like you're running your own small business. You are your business. So it teaches you, you have to learn business sense. You have to learn how to talk to people about money, which is a very hard thing for a lot of people to do, myself included.
Yeah.
You have to negotiate. You have to learn about contracts if you're doing something corporate. Um, and yeah, you have to, and on top of that, you have to know how to do your makeup, know what song you're going to do. Like, basically, you're an artistic director and a business director all in one. So it teaches you about business, I think is a great thing. I think it also teaches young people, for people who don't know about drag, it's a good lesson in tolerance, and showing and acceptance, seeing something that's completely different than what they're used to seeing, and seeing that that's okay, and
Yes.
their thing, but it's important to respect different people and their different walks of life. And maybe it will be their thing, and maybe they'll realize they love it.
Yeah.
So that's
Amazing.
too, and it's also an important message for young queer kids out there who are maybe looking to see themselves in a drag queen, or see themselves in somebody on TV, whether that be me or so many of the other amazing queer artists we have on TV now, and other queer drag queens we have on TV now, which I'm so excited for Canada's Drag Race, because we have such a plethora of diversity. We have so many, we have some queens of color, we have some black queens, we have some Desi queens, which is a term I just learned, which is a South Asian drag queen.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
so like South Asian. So a Desi queen. We have a two-spirited Indigenous queen. So we have all this really, really great representation coming out, which I think is so important. And it's going to teach probably some young kids out there about self-expression, and that it's okay to be themselves and express themselves, and that they matter and that they're enough.
Oh, I love that. That's amazing. No,
Yeah.
it's such an important thing, I think, for any person to learn, right? Yeah, no, you're just amazing, and you've done such important work, and you make everyone feel so special and wonderful whenever you're around them. We're just so proud of you, and we're so lucky to have you as like a member of the NBS fam and Pivot Dancer fam. We're very excited, and we love you.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I'm doing my best.
Well, you're killing it. Yeah. Oh my gosh. So anything else? I mean, like, I know we're in the middle of quarantine and it's Pride Month. Happy Pride Month to you and all of the other LGBTQ.
Yeah, I mean, we're obviously celebrating Pride very differently this year. There's
Yeah.
everything's gone online, but I think this is the perfect opportunity for us all to educate ourselves on what Pride really means, how Pride started. That's something I had to do. I knew how Pride started, but I didn't ever bother really educate myself. I think that's one of the things about becoming gay or coming out as gay. I feel like once you come out as gay, you should be required to attend like a 4-day seminar on your
Okay.
gay.
Like you can catch up.
There's no, I mean, and I learned so much. I would recommend that everybody goes and watches the Marsha P. Johnson story on Netflix. It's about Marsha P. Johnson is the trans black woman who started the Stonewall riots, and she was a key figure in that movement. And I think it's very important for everyone to understand and know how Pride started. And Pride started as a riot against police brutality, which is so poignant for what's happening in the world today and what has been happening in the world today, but is now being brought to light finally.
Right.
So this Pride, I have been educating myself, because I have been shamefully ignorant on a lot of things, which I should have known better about, but I didn't, because I just never bothered to learn, because I didn't think it affected me, because I was a white man in America. But if one thing I'm learning is it affects one of us, it affects all of us, and that's the only way we're going to change. And I think as white folk, it's so important. We have to be the ones who are speaking up and speaking out about issues. We cannot leave it to black folk to do it. They have been dealing with it their entire lives. It is not their problem. It's their problem, but it's our problem too. And it should be all of our problems to speak up and say something. It's only going to change if we all get in this together.
Amen, sister.
So yeah, that's I know that's a lot to dump on everybody, but it's the truth, and it's something I've kind of been awoken to and have a real passion for now. So yeah, get out there and read something about gay pride, educate yourself.
Yeah, it's so important. I feel like, it's given us the opportunity, as crazy as some of the stuff that's been happening this past year has been. it is giving us the opportunity to learn a lot and educate ourselves and, you know, really put in the work and get ourselves in the right headspace and try to do better.
Absolutely. Easy ways to start educating yourself. Watch the Marsha P. Johnson story. Also watch The 13th. It's another film
Okay.
on about systemic racism in the United States of America and kind of how it all started. So it's just really mind blowing and mind opening, or
Yeah.
I don't know if that's a saying, mind opening, but
Oh,
it
yeah, that makes sense.
puts you to new information and like things you just never realized that were happening. At least I never realized that. So I think that's super helpful, and I think that's a great way for everyone to educate themselves. To celebrate Pride this year is to educate themselves on what is going on in the world, what has been going on in the world. Celebrate those people who have made it possible for us to get this far in the movement and the fight, and realize that we have a lot more work to do.
Bravo. Yeah, I'm definitely going to be looking into that. Thank you for that suggestion. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, girl. So, last thing before, if I could say one last thing before we leave, if you could say something to little Brooklyn Heights, little Brock, what would you say?
Oh gosh, that's a, that's a tough, tear-inducing question.
I know. I just was kind of thinking about it.
That's like what they asked us on Drag Race, like when they hold up the baby picture of us. What would you say to
I
your kid?
know.
I think the simple thing I would say is just believe in yourself. It took me a really long time to believe in myself because I was the youngest kid, and then in my family, and then I started dance so late, so I was always playing catch up, and I never felt good enough. I never felt cool enough. I never felt part of the in crowd, I guess you could say. So it felt like I was always kind of playing catch up to everybody, and that resulted in a lot of anger within myself, a lot of um, and a lot of self-loathing, I guess you could say. On top of that, like I was struggling with being gay, because, and I grew up in a very Christian home where like being gay wasn't the ideal. So I had that internal turmoil going on.
Yeah.
But I would just say, yeah, I would just say believe in yourself, and it's going to be okay. Like just do what you got to do. You're amazing. I know you don't feel amazing, but you are, and try to see yourself the way other people see you, because what you see is different than what everyone else sees, and I think that goes for everybody. Also, I would say to be kind to people. I think a lot of times I took my sadness and my anger out on other people, and I think that's what a bully is. Someone who is upset with themselves or doesn't like themselves, and they, in order to
Right.
make themselves feel better, they make somebody else feel small. And that's something I definitely did as a teenager and into my 20s, just because I was unhappy with myself. So yeah, just to be kind to other people, believe in yourself. You are a badass bitch.
Yes, girl.
And yeah, that's not like everything's like perfect now and I'm amazing. Like that's a lifelong struggle that you're going to have to go through, that I'm going to have to go through, as a constant, just a practice and an exercise of believing in yourself and knowing that you're enough. But it's a very worthwhile struggle to go through, and it's a very worthwhile thing to have to work on with yourself. And yeah, that's it. Just to love yourself and value yourself and know that you are enough.
That's amazing. It's such an important thing to remember. And I know that we have a lot of young people that are parts of this Pivot Dancer platform. So I know that your words really do mean a lot to a lot of them and to a lot of us as well. Even if you're not a kid, it's good to hear that as well, you know, because we forget it too.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's just such a basic thing to not be so hard on yourself, and value yourself and see that you're not terrible. And I think as ballet dancers especially, I think a lot of it comes from that, because ballet is such an unforgiving, right or wrong, always reaching for perfection, never getting to perfection art form. Like
Right.
we're always perfect and we never quite get there, so we're constantly beating ourselves up. Like I don't know if you ever try to give a ballet dancer a compliment, just forget about it.
Oh, I know.
No, I wasn't. It was terrible. It was horrible. It wasn't good. They
Could have
can't
been so much better.
tell you 10 that they hate about themselves. You're like, oh my God, that was a great turn. You're like, I just killed somebody. Like,
Did you not see?
yeah, it was fine, but then I fell. Like, so yeah, just learning to, I think that's a big thing dancers have to work on. It's a lot of, we go through a lot of psychological fucked upness to get where
Yeah.
um, and yeah.
Like, it's like psychological warfare. I totally
It,
know what you're saying.
ballet is psychological warfare. Um,
Yeah.
and it's hard, and like it does and I think it's getting better. I mean, like back in the day, forget about it, when they were like burning you with cigarettes and shit if you did something
Oh
wrong,
God.
like beating you with canes. Like, we live in like a very, very different like PC time now. Like, back in the day, like I had a friend who went to NBS, like she's in her 60s 70s now, and she showed me, she has, these are cigarette burns from my teacher.
Oh God.
Like, I would lower my, if my arm would like fall or something like that.
Wow. Yeah, we came from a very different time, and I think it's even changed a little bit since we,
Oh, it's
since we were there.
like, it's very, very PC. And like when we went there, like it was fine. There was none of that, obviously. But
Yeah.
like back in the day when there were when you could still beat your kids, and like you could you could do whatever you wanted. It's yeah, and there are a lot of like messed up things, like and messed up people from that, and people who like never let go of what their ballet teachers said. It like followed them and haunted them forever. Like,
Yeah.
I've heard these stories of like ballet teachers dying, and then students like killing themselves because, and this is like when they were like in the 60s, because they never got that approval that they wanted from their ballet teacher, and
Yeah.
then they're dead, so they're like, they were still holding on to like all this, like it's like some black swan craziness.
That is some crazy. Yeah, no, it really is some crazy. I
Yeah.
mean, you probably see some of that. And do you see that in drag too at all, or
um no, not
like
really.
the holding on for approval, or is that more just like the ballet, the ballerina in ya? Because I can totally relate to that.
Oh my God, yeah. Like, I still see like I still like look for approval in everybody. That's very much a ballet thing that I still do, which I try to work on. But
Yeah.
it's hard to like just be okay. That's such a good lesson too. Thank you for bringing that up. But just to
Yeah.
be okay in yourself and be like, no, I don't need to go to everybody and be like, was that okay? What did you think? With like that whole thing of like, or constantly like standing there like waiting for someone to like come and give you a compliment. Like,
Yeah.
that's a ballet thing too. Like, you're just like, it's like after performance waiting for your teacher or your coach to come and be like, good job. Like, you're just like sitting there waiting for it.
I know.
It's also important to just be okay with, yeah, I did a good job tonight. And yeah, I'm sure some things were not okay or like perfect, but that's fine.
Exactly.
It's hard though. It's hard for me to watch myself perform, like watch videos of myself. Oh,
Really? Okay.
but well, yeah, like I don't like, as a
I
dancer,
get.
hated watching yourself. I hated watching myself perform, and it's the same thing in drag. I just don't like. It's like I have this idea in my head, and then I see it, and I'm like, no. Like,
Let it live in here. Well, I can tell you.
exactly. Let it
Yeah.
live. Let it live in your head, and it's all like it's fine. Like, there are moments where I'm like, okay, that was cute. I like that, but there's like, I think anybody who's worked in theater can relate to that. Like, they do not, watching yourself perform is not wonderful.
Right. Right.
As
No,
actors, we're very very self-critical people.
yeah, absolutely. No, it's
Yeah.
definitely that we have to like, yeah, you carry it with you for forever, but we keep working on it. You know what I mean?
These are things we keep working on, and that's why we have therapists.
Exactly. Thank you, therapist.
Therapists.
Oh my gosh. Brooklyn, you are just the best. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you. This was so fun.
I know. Oh my gosh. I'm so happy we got to catch up. And you're just like even prettier than like I could have ever imagined. Seriously, I have to tell you.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
So true. Oh my gosh. Ooh, you're the best. Thank you for hanging in there with me with like all the Wi-Fi situation.
It's fine.
We pulled it together here at the end.
Yes,
but But everybody go check out, if you haven't, you probably already have, Brooklyn Heights Instagram. It's amazing. She does such amazing, good, important work. And I'm so proud to call her my friend and fellow NBS grad. And
Yes.
this just meant the world that you came and spent some time with us today.
It was my absolute pleasure. So nice getting to catch up with you.
Yes, you too, baby.
Yes.
Mwah, 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 mwah.
Bye, everybody.
Bye. See you.
Bye.